Black Ops 6 Zombies has a lot of weapons that get special pack-a-punch abilities, and in today's video I want to show you my top weapons that completely change whenever you pack them. So as always, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments right now what is your go-to weapon in the game. Without any further ado, let's get this. Alright guys, so before we kick things off, I just want to say that this is a list with the best weapons that have special pack-a-punch abilities. Not every weapon that has a pack-a-punch ability, because let's be honest, some of them have better abilities than the others, and I'm really looking forward to the one that actually change up completely the way the weapon works and everything. So having like the magazine increase 3 times instead of 2 times whenever pack-a-punch, I would not count that as a very special pack-a-punch ability. But for example, the GS45s turning a pistol into a explosive pistol, well, that's definitely a special pack-a-punch ability. And we are kicking the list off with the SVD sniper rifle. This is a semi-auto sniper that has pretty good damage, and as you guys can see, we're round 13. We are clicking heads very easily with blue rarity, but whenever we pack-a-punch this, it gets one of the coolest pack-a-punch abilities, because look at the crosshair. This is pretty much a shotgun right now, but it's a shotgun in the form of a sniper, because it doesn't shoot shotgun shells, it actually shoots sniper bullets, but it actually shoots 3 bullets with random spread in that crosshair. So it's basically a shotgun sniper. And if you ADS with this, you can like do insane amount of damage at range, which is kind of crazy. This is extremely good for boss fights, it's very good for HVTs and stuff like that, and it's actually very nice for high rounds as well, which is kind of cool. But basically we are shooting 3 bullets at once with this sniper rifle, dealing insane amount of damage, and if we ADS, we have like perfect accuracy of a sniper, which is kind of impressive. Moving on to another sniper, this is the LR762, and again, this is a slow sniper rifle that does a lot of damage, but again, shoots super slow. But whenever you pack-a-punch it, this gets another really cool special ability. And look at this, it is an explosive sniper right now. Yeah, this thing, it's pretty much an RPG right now, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. I think whenever it's fully pack-a-punch and upgraded and everything, on a direct hit it does around 35,000 damage, which is kind of ridiculous. And imagine using this against an amalgam and have deadwire on. Yeah, that's gonna do a lot of damage. And this is one of those weapons that are pretty good for high rounds. Not that impressive on the boss fights though. Pretty good for Citadel, not gonna lie. But anything else is not that impressive when it comes to boss fights, but very good for crowd control, very good for higher rounds as well. Definitely one of the cooler weapons in the game. Next up, we have another sniper. This is the AMR Mod 4. Basically, this is the Barrett 50 cal. It's a semi-automatic sniper that has pretty nice damage, but is super slow being this big and heavy. But whenever you pack-a-punch it, not only gets a ridiculous amount of damage increase, look at this ADS speed. That is almost instant, and it also gets a fire rate increase, which is absolutely insane. This is pretty much the most powerful weapon in the game right now, in my opinion. It's extremely good against any boss fight in the game, especially on Shadowvale and Citadel Daymore. If I'm not mistaken, on Citadel Daymore with double standard augment for double tap, it does 10,000 damage in the non-crit spot, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, we're round 22 pap 1 and we're just one clicking heads. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. I think it does like 20,000 damage on the crit spot whenever it's maxed out, and if you use double standard it does 20,000 damage in the body as well, being a 3-shot at health cap and absolutely bullying everything in the game. Basically, this thing turns from a super slow and high recoil and slow firing weapon, sniper rifle to be more specific, to a, well, instant ADS kind of gun with super fast fire rate. Unfortunately, it doesn't double the ammo count in the magazine, but I guess this weapon needed to have some disadvantages just because it's this freaking overpowered and powerful. Next up, we have a marksman rifle. This is the DM10, a semi-automatic weapon that actually feels pretty nice whenever it's unpack-a-punch, shoots kind of fast, does some nice damage and everything, but whenever you pack-a-punch, this gets a nice ability, and to be more specific, it gets a binary trigger, meaning every time you click the fire button, it shoots twice. It shoots once when you click, and once when you release the click button. So basically, if you spam this, well, you can pretty much do this. And if you put double tap on, it's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. It's like a fully automatic weapon whenever you have that perk on. which is kind of cool. Definitely one of the better weapons in the game right now, one of my favorite to use anyways, because I mean, look at this, every time you click it shoots twice and you can just spam it so quick. It got a pretty nice buff in headshot damage lately, and with double tap it's just so good. It's definitely one of the best weapons when going for the boss fights. This does the most amount of damage to the Terminus boss fight. I think it does like 15,000 damage when you use Napalm on that first phase. It's extremely good for Citadel Daymore, very good for the Shattered Veil boss fight as well. And let's be honest, on that 0x boss fight, there's not that many weapons that are actually good, but this thing kind of cooks it, and it's pretty much good for anything you want to use it in the game. Kind of nice for high rounds as well. But definitely one of those weapons that you really want to go for if you're like struggling with any of the bosses in the game and everything, and it's kind of satisfying to use. We do have another marksman rifle in the game that has a special pack-a-punch ability that kind of changes when you pack, but honestly I don't really want to talk about that. To be more specific, I'm talking about the TR2 or the FAL as we used to know it. That thing, it's a semi-automatic marksman rifle, but whenever you pack a punch it, it turns into a burst weapon, and basically you can like hold down the fire button, it automatically shoots. Like you don't have to click every time you want to shoot that burst fire, but it's just not that great. It's actually pretty bad in zombies. It did get a nice buff lately, but it's still not enough, so I really don't want to include it in this list. Yeah, it's a nice pack-a-punch ability and everything, but it makes the weapon honestly worse. Next up, we have a very nice shotgun, and not gonna lie, in the shotgun category, all of them are extremely good right now, even more after the Marine SP buff, which is kind of insane right now, one of the highest damaging weapons in the game, but it doesn't really have a special pack-a-punch ability. But the ASG 89 shotgun does have a special pack-a-punch ability. And as you guys see, this is a semi-auto shotgun. You cannot fully automatic this weapon or anything. Does pretty nice damage, is one of the better weapons in the game, and a lot of people really enjoy using this for boss fights and stuff like that. But whenever you pack a punch it, well, it does get a fire rate increase, which is kind of amazing. It doesn't go full automatic like the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom is a fully automatic shotgun, but this thing has a much better fire rate, which is kind of cool, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of people enjoy using this weapon. It's just very easy to use, does some nice damage and everything, and you know, having the ability to shoot it this fast, it's actually pretty darn nice. Nothing too major, but it makes enough of a difference to make this weapon totally different, to be fair. Moving on to the pistols here. Well, unfortunately, there's only one pistol that has a special pack-a-punch ability. This is the GS45 pistol. Kind of nice and satisfying pistol to use, but nothing out of the ordinary, to be fair. But whenever you pack-a-punch this thing, well, you kind of get low ammo in the magazine. Like, you get less than you had before, but look at this. This is the good old GS45, the Mustang and Sally from the OG Call of Duty days. And look at this. This thing is pretty much a pocket RPG. It's like the LR762, but you have two of them. You move faster, you shoot faster, and stuff like that. So this is definitely one of the cooler weapons in the game when it comes to pack-a-punch abilities. Like having a pistol turn into a rocket launcher. Kind of amazing, not gonna lie. Definitely, this is one of the most used weapons in the game, to be fair. Very good for high rounds and everything. It does have a bit of a problem with the ammunition because you don't have a lot of reserve ammo, just because it's this powerful and everything. And this used to be used a lot on the boss fights because it's very good, especially on Terminus, Liberty Falls. Citadel Daymore is kind of okay-ish, and Shadowvale is like meh, but Terminus and Liberty Falls is absolutely fantastic, and it's very good just to, you know, crowd control and go for high rounds and stuff like that. So definitely a very fun weapon to use. And if you haven't tested this out yet, definitely give it a go, especially if you're using it akimbo, just because you can have like this fire mode. Basically, you shoot the right gun or the left gun, whichever you want to shoot first, and whenever you empty that one, it's gonna start a reload, and while you reload that one, you just shoot the other one, which is kind of nice. You alternate fire for basically better ammo management and everything. Next up on the list, we have the LW3 Frostline sniper rifle. I know a lot of sniper rifles in this game that have special pack-a-punch ability, but that is actually very nice. I enjoy having good snipers in the game. I feel like snipers have always been kind of neglected in these zombie games, and yeah, in Black Ops 6 we have been treated very well with this. But again, this is a normal sniper rifle, does decent damage and everything, not super fast or anything, but whenever you pack-a-punch it, well, it gets a very nice ability. Look at this ADS speed. This is like fast as a freaking pistol, which is absolutely insane. It's like an SMG ADS kind of time, and it also gets a fire rate increase. It shoots a lot faster than it did without the pack-a-punch version, and if you actually put on double tap, it's gonna be even better. And the very nice thing about this, well, whenever you have this maxed out, it does a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, I think it might just be a one-shot to normal zombies at health cap, which is kind of ridiculous for a sniper rifle. And with this fast movement, fast ADS and everything, it's actually a pretty viable weapon to the higher rounds and everything. Not extremely good on the boss fights, stuff like that, because at the end of the day it is a sniper rifle, but for higher rounds and for doing a lot of damage to elites, to normal zombies, and penetrating a lot of zombies at once, this thing, it's actually pretty darn impressive. And also we do have another sniper in the game, the HDR, and that one again gets another special pack-a-punch ability. Not extremely special like this one. It does get a super fast ADS speed, but it doesn't get a fire rate increase as well. And it might be super high damage weapon in the game, but it's super slow as well. So I really don't feel like it should be on this list, to be fair, because yeah, no matter how fast it ADS and everything, at the end of the day, if it has like super slow fire rate and stuff like that, it's not gonna be that impressive. So we're gonna stay away from that one. But anyways, the Frostline, absolutely fantastic. Definitely recommend you guys give this a go. It's a pretty fun weapon to use from time to time. Alright guys, moving on to some LMGs. This is the GPM-G7. To be fair, most of them have a special pack-a-punch ability. The more you shoot them, the faster they're gonna shoot. It's not a very fast fire rate increase, but it's a bit of an increase, so that's kind of nice. But this one actually has a special pack-a-punch ability. If you are using the first laser you have for this weapon, as you guys can see, this is like normal hip fire, does pretty decent damage, shoots kind of fast and everything. But if you have that laser on and you pack-a-punch this weapon, look at the crosshair. That is like perfect hip fire crosshair, and you can use like a deadshot augment to actually make that crosshair even smaller and better hip fire spread basically. And look at this, you don't need to ADS with this weapon. This is kind of insane. I love using this weapon, especially with the belt-fed attachment. Because that one basically gives you 1,000 rounds in a magazine, and for some reason on the GPMG it overhits at around 500 bullets or 400 something bullets, which is kind of insane even with double tap. So being able to shoot 400 bullets without reloading, it's kind of nuts. And even when it starts overheating, yeah, you can just like hold on for like a second or two, and then the overheat bar is gonna go down, and you can just do this. And this thing has a very nice fire rate. And imagine how fast this shoots with double tap, and even the augment that increases the fire rate even more. This is extremely good for boss fights, especially on Terminus, Citadel, even Shadowvale. On Shadowvale is not going to do that much damage on the boss because, yeah, that thing is super tanky and doesn't take damage from many weapons. But for everything else, this thing is fantastic. And you don't even need to ADS, you can just do this. Like, look at this, it's barely overheating. If you have this just pack-a-punch without double tap, you are gonna shoot the 1,000 bullets without overheating the weapon. It only starts overheating whenever you have double tap on. Like, that was absolutely insane. This is one of the most fun weapons to use, but you need to put on that laser in case to have this pack-a-punch ability on. And for the last weapon for today, we have an SMG. This is the Compact 92 SMG. This thing has a ridiculous fire rate. Look at this, over 1,000, kind of insane, not gonna lie. But it also has a very nice pack-a-punch ability, and it makes it pretty much one of the best SMGs in the game. And to be more specific, whenever you pack-a-punch this weapon, it has a pack-a-punch ability much like the GPMG LMG we saw earlier. It has that perfect crosshair for hipfire. Look at this. And it's actually even better than the one on the LMG. It's even tighter, which is absolutely insane. You do have 120 rounds in the magazine, but you are gonna burn through them pretty darn fast because of this insane fire rate. And imagine this with double tap, it's gonna be absolutely ridiculous. But not gonna lie, this is one of the most fun weapons to use in the game, and it's very easy to use as well, even though it has that super fast fire rate, because you don't have to worry about the recoil too much whenever you ADS, because you have this perfect crosshair for hipfire, and it's actually pretty good for boss fights as well, for Terminus, for Shadowvale, for the Tomb. On Shadowvale he's gonna struggle a bit because he doesn't do a whole lot of damage against that Z-Rex, but because of this fire rate you can actually take him down fairly easy, I'll say. But nonetheless, this is one of the more fun weapons to use in the game, just because of that hipfire pack-a-punch ability, much like the GPMG. This is gonna be extremely good on the Citadel boss fight as well. It's one of the best weapons to take you down. It just shreds through that guy so fast because of that fire rate. And well, you have that really nice mobility whenever you pack a punch. And to make it even better, this and the GPMG as well, there's an augment for Deadshot that actually allows you to get even better, even tighter crosshair when it comes to the hipfire. So if you're using this weapon or the GPMG, definitely make sure to put that Deadshot augment that helps with hipfire spread. But anyways guys, these are pretty much my favorite weapons when it comes to special pack-a-punch abilities. There's definitely some other ones in the game, like for example we have weapons that not double the ammo in the magazine but actually triple or even quadruple. For example, the PP919 goes from 70 to like 300, which is kind of insane, or 400, I don't know exactly. And then you have the AS Val, which goes from 45 to 135, so it's like a 3-time increase in the magazine, but I feel like it doesn't really change the weapon that much to be called a special pack-a-punch ability. Like, yeah, it's nice you have more ammo and stuff like that, but it doesn't really do anything in particular. For example, you have the LR762 or the GS45s that literally turn from bullet weapons to pretty much rocket launchers. Now that's a pack-a-punch ability. Or the SVD that turns from a sniper to a shotgun sniper. That one's kind of insane, to be fair. One of my favorite weapons in the game. And there are weapons that increase the damage a lot. For example, the D13 sector, the blade launcher or whatever it's called, that one does 29,000 damage in the body on health cap. Unfortunately, double tap doesn't really affect that one, so it's not gonna be a one-shot at health cap, unfortunately, with double tap and double standard. But there are a lot of weapons that have some abilities, but I feel like the ones that I showed today are the ones that are pretty much the best and the most useful. So anyways guys, as always, this is gonna be for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe for more content, because there's definitely a lot more coming on the way. And also Black Ops 7 just been confirmed and revealed, so definitely looking forward to the zombies mode in that one. And as always guys, let me know in the comments what are your favorite guns in the game when it comes to pack-a-punch abilities. Anyways, have a great one. Bye bye.